Joining us live this morning with some transition tips and tricks is Dr. Anna Shear, a child
psychiatrist.
I knew I was going to screw it up. I need to make sure I get it right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
I think back to school can be a little bit of that time when the summer's unwinding, the kids get a little bit jittery. What are some ways to kind of quell their fears about going into a new school year?
There are all sorts of ways, and a lot of them really depend on the age of the child. So if you have a child where it's their first time at the school, or maybe they're moving up from middle school up into junior high or high school, a very good thing is, if at all possible, if you can get them in the school so that they can figure out where is their locker. And one surprising fear that a lot of kids have is, where's the bathroom?
Yeah.
So things that we as adults wouldn't necessarily think of as fear-provoking and anxiety-provoking can definitely be for your kids.
I find sometimes too, because I have two little nephews, that they don't like to talk about their fears. They're not really going to open up to parents about kind of some of the issues that they're having. They're going to internalize it, which can in turn create even more problems.
Yes, I've had a lot of kids come in, and parents for that matter, come in saying, they've never had stomach aches, they've never had nausea, suddenly they have these migraines, and our private practice doctor said that, nothing's wrong with them physically, so they sent them here. That's very, very common that for the younger kids, they tend to have stomach aches, and for older kids, teenagers, they tend to have headaches if they have anxiety. And as teenagers, they tend to have a lot of irritability too. So parents will think, I have this angry child.
Yeah.
But it's really that they're very anxious about the transition of going from summer back to school.
Gotcha. Is there any way to kind of quell that, so to speak, to kind of have them maybe open up that dialogue?
Absolutely. I would say that families should start, if possible, 2 weeks and at least 1 week before school starts, getting prepared. So that might be, you get to pick out your clothes, things that would be exciting for kids. You get to pick out all of your school supplies, what's the new backpack that you want. And as you start to prepare and talk more about the upcoming school year, their thoughts and their concerns will start to come out. So if it's more, oh, I'm just worried about these clothes or my hair, or this and that, or so-and-so that I'm going to be seeing, it's all about opening up dialogue and starting that process of the transition from summer to school.
Now, for some kids, this can be kind of debilitating for them in a way.
It can.
When is the turning point when you think, well, I can handle this as a parent on my own, versus maybe we need to ask some outside help to get these kids kind of ready and to address those fears and concerns?
So if physical symptoms are occurring, headaches, stomach aches, and particularly if these are rising to the level where kids are refusing to go to school.
Gotcha.
Once you get to the point where school refusal is happening, it's very, very hard to get kids back into school if they've had an extended period of time where they've avoided going to school.
Gotcha. Okay, so the countdown's on for a lot of kids going back to school August 1st. What are some things maybe that parents should be doing right now to kind of get ready to start that new school year?
Right now, I would start inching bedtime earlier. So, for some kids, they're not going to bed until midnight or 2 or 3. So slowly start inching it back, maybe an hour every night, and waking them up an hour earlier. Just so that by the time school happens and the night before they're already jittery, you want them to already have their schedule on solid.
Perfect. Well, these are some great advice. We really appreciate you coming in. We might have you come back again, because I think a lot of kids are going to need this.
Just thinking about it, I get jittery.
I know, I am. Me too. All right. Well, doctor, thank you so much for coming in.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.